यशस्यम् आयुष्यं हितं बुद्धिविवर्धनं लोकोपदेशजननं नाट्यमेतद् भविष्यति न तज्ज्ञानं न तच्छिल्पं न सा विद्या न सा कला नासौ योगो न तत्कर्म नाट्येऽस्मिन् यन्न दृश्यते नाट्याख्यं पंचमं वेदं स इतिहासं करोम्यहम्.
That was from the Natya Shastra, the dance, that which gives dharma, virtue, fame, life, does good, improves the intellect, and gives good advice to people. There is no other supreme knowledge, no sculpturous representation, no method of education, no art, not even yoga or karma, that is action, that is not seen in the dance. In fact, it is called the fifth Veda. Dance is movement, and movement is considered the very vital urge of man, and dance the fundamental art. As a great author writes, during times of stress and violence, there is an instinctive reaction to the arts. The purity of the classical line, the blending of music and movement, the visual impact of color, costume, and scenery, all combine to give great harmony and satisfaction, offsetting the harsh realities of modern living. From simple, spontaneous expression of joy or feeling, dance assumed a religious and ritualistic flavor. Let us look at the chart on a selective and probable evolution of dance in the world.
We all know that dance has begun by being a spontaneous expression of emotion. So in the chart we have spontaneous expression leading to rhythm, mime, movement. Then dance becomes representational. Daily chores, hunting, fishing, sowing, reaping, that is harvest, and then method of communication. It is also educational, leading to rituals, religious, propitiating the gods, invoking spirits, magic and war dances, social, birth, marriage, ceremonial. Then on the other side we have folk, occupational, vocational, riddles, ritualistic, song and dances, game, song and dance for elders and children. We have them even today. The representational and rituals lead to stylized, symbolic. They become an aesthetic experience, social interaction, collective dance, theatrical entertainment. In the West, we have the stylized classical ballet, the social ballroom and folk. And in the Indian, we have the ritualistic, religious, folk, and highly stylized gestural, classical, Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Manipuri, Kuchipudi, and Odissi.
We get an idea of the origin, growth, and development of the dance through inscriptions, manuscripts, painting, and sculpture. Let us look at a few inscriptions from the Tanjore temple and the manuscripts from the Saraswati Mahal library in Tanjore, and the paintings, the frescoes from the Brihadishwara temple, and of course the dance sculptures from the South Indian temples. Generally, dance in the West has come to be regarded as a means of self-expression or the artist's individual personality, whereas in the East and India in particular, it carries the dual message of the physical to be lifted to the sublime, and the interpretation of the universal and idealistic by the submergence of the individual self. Dance in India, both folk and classical, is claimed to go back to time immemorial, and the classical styles seem to have attained a high degree of perfection, subtlety and beauty centuries ago. There is an underlying unity that strings the classical styles together, with each one having a distinct regional flavor. The nritta, or the pure dance, gives us the difference in the styles, though some of the gestures may be common. Originally, the dance revolved round the temples, and like all other offerings, dance was also part of the ritualistic offering to the gods. In the Natya Shastra, dance seemed to have been created as an entertainment for the gods, whereas to man it is his offering to God. It must be remembered that the origin of the fine arts in India are so shrouded in the mists of antiquity that it becomes quite impossible to fix the probable dates for many of the artistic events. Besides the evidence that we have through the paintings, sculpture and manuscripts, we must consider the ear oral and the word oral tradition, which are responsible for preserving dances like Bharatanatyam. The Gurukula system, the teacher to pupil, father to son, generation after generation as it were, forming dynasties, embellishing and innovating. Originally, Bharatanatyam was called by various names: Kooth, Shilambam, Chinnamelam, Sadir, and so on. The colloquial usage of the term Bharatanatyam brings to mind that classical style of dance prevalent in Tamil Nadu and also in Karnataka. It is a highly stylized form of dance, and the gesture language is so complex and complete, and the movements visually and aesthetically so beautiful that a recital of Bharatanatyam is not only a feast for the eyes, but gives satisfaction and joy to the soul. Our aim is to bring to you the various facets of this dance form. Let us then begin at the beginning. On an auspicious day, the teacher is ready with the tattikili, that is, the wooden plank and the stick. Then the child's waist is tied. This is to maintain good posture, so important for a dancer. To protect the organs in the abdomen, and of course a slim waist. We know that the classical styles can be recognized by the nritta or pure dance. Nritta does not interpret an idea, nor does it convey any meaning or sentiment. It is abstract and aesthetically beautiful. The unique feature of Bharatanatyam is the Adavu system. Adavu, derived from the word adu, meaning to dance. And Adavu is the basic dance unit, like each letter of the alphabet. Kootanul, a treatise on dance written by Satanar, maybe around 14th century, says that an Adavu is that where the feet stamp, the body, waist, hands and feet coordinate in graceful movement. The characteristics of an Adavu Lakshanas are Sthanaka, standing position. This is the standing position for the Tattadu. Chari, movement of hands and feet. Taiya, tai. Nritta hasta, decorative hand gesture. Here it is the pataka. Hasta kshetra, the position of the hand during the execution of the adavu. In performing the adavus, the stance aramandi is very important. This position is like the plie in ballet. That is, the feet are flexed, the legs and the knees are bent, and the turnout is from the thighs. This is a very important position in Bharatanatyam, and a student of dance must master this to become a good performer. The adavus seem to have existed even before the 14th century, since mention of them is made in the Sangeeta Muktavali of Devendra Bhatta. We know of the Kutanul, Mahabharata Chudamani, and Sangeeta Saramrita of Tulaja Maharaja of Tanjore. Just out of interest, let us see the chart on the adavus from the Sangeeta Saramrita.
The adavus in Sangeeta Saramritam of King Tulaja of Tanjore dates about 17th century. On the left side we have the Tamil and on the right the Sanskrit equivalent. Tatta adavu samakuttanam. Kutta adavu kanatpada kuttanam. Now kuttanam means stamping. That is, we have stamping and alternate stamping. So these two could come under the tattadavu of Bharatanatyam today. Nati tattadavu, parshva kuttanam. Could be tayyum datta, diditayadavu, pada parshva kuttanam. Kudichi elumbudal, utpritya uttanam, taidatta. Shutrudal, Santadya, Brahmana. Tatti mettadavu, Parshni Kuttanam. We are very familiar with that. We have the 5 jatis in it. Shimiradavu, Karshanam. You could call this a Sharukal or the peacock adavu. Kadasakal, Karshana, Padakam. The Tayatai, the gliding adavu. Parikkiradavu, Sharanagati. We have the Brahmari, the turns. Shittanga, Akunchita Padika, Yendi Kattaradu, Ekapada, that is lifting one leg and turning. Vishikal, Prasarita Pada, stretched foot. Then Mandi Adavu, Motikam. This is a beautiful one that you will see in demonstration as well as in Alaripu.
Before we go into the series of the adavus, that is the adavu demonstration, you must remember that there are 5 positions of the feet that we use. The normal position, flex, that is the turnout, and the aramandi, on the heel, on the toes, back and front. Both feet flex and on the toes. Each of the adavus can be recognized by the drum syllables uttered for that particular adavu. Usually in practice, the adavus are done in 3 speeds. That is the first, second and the third. The first speed is established and the second and the third speeds follow in proportion to the first. Now, before we begin the practice, we do what is called as Tatti Kumudrathu, that is the salutation to the Mother Earth, to the gods, to the gurus and to the audience.
Takkadimmi, 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 takkadimmi.
The first of the series of adavus is the Tat adavu. The standing position is the Natyarambha. The decorative hand gesture is the Pataka. There are 8 in this series, and you will see the first and the fifth in 3 speeds. Natadavu, a slight variation. There is the Natyarambha position. The hand gesture is Tripataka. There are 8 in this series, and as the adavu progresses, we have different hand gestures like the Alapadma, the Katakamukha. The drum syllables are Tayyum Datta, Tayyum Taha. This and the following adavus will be demonstrated at a convenient speed. But you must remember that in practice we have to perform them in all the 3 speeds.
Tayyum datta, tayyum taha, 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 takkata ding ding datta.
You saw 4 variations of the Natadavu. Now you will see 3 more, each one becoming a little more complicated.
Tayyum datta, tayyum taha, 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 takkata ding ding datta.
The Tate Teta Adavu. This could also be called the swinging Adavu because the body and the hand takes a full swing in front and to the side during the movement.
Tay tay ta, tay 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 ta, ta 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 tay tay
Kuditta Mettu Adu. Here we have the fifth position of the feet. That is, both feet flex and on the toes. You have seen the four positions before in the previous adavus. The drum syllables here are taihat taihi, the same movement of the feet, but the hands vary. This is a beautiful series. You will find that the movements are becoming more and more complicated and more hand gestures or hastas are being used. But again, here the hand gestures are just decorative and do not convey any meaning or sentiment. The drum syllables are tattaitam, dittaitam. But see the variety of the movements. The Tattitaha Adavu. This is a very important adavu in Bharatanatyam because we use it very often and usually in a faster tempo. The drum syllables are Tattitaha and the hand gesture is Tripataka. Next is the Tai Diditei adavu. This is a very important adavu because usually the dance sequences end with this particular adavu and it is done in the third speed. And it is also known as Tadinginatom. Today you will see this adavu in the first speed, second and the third. variations in Tai Te Didite Tam. You will see about 3, and after that, a combination of this adavu with the Tai Didite adavu. The Kitataka Tarikitatum Adavu. This is one of the most beautiful and very important adavus in Bharatanatyam. Like the Tai Didite Adavu, this is also performed at the end of a dance sequence. It gives a finish to the pure dance sequences. And this also you will see in 3 speeds. Now you will see a combination of the Tai Didite, that is the Tadiginato Madavu, and the Kirugatato Madavu. And usually this will be a finish to a pure dance sequence, a combination of both of them. Until next time.